Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. I normally get these weekly updates. I'd like to get them out on Sunday, but due to time constraints, I was not able to do so. Lots of stuff I had to do this weekend. I also had a paper due yesterday. So let's look and see where we're at. We're at beginning week 6. So today is day 1 of week 6. So, and we are going to have our exam review on Thursday at 8 p.m. I certainly hope that you can join us. If not, I'm going to make an attempt to try and record it, but I can't make any promises because even though most of the time the recording goes well, I did have one occurrence where it didn't record well. So I learned from that not to promise that it's going to be recorded because I don't want to disappoint you. It would probably be a good idea for you to print out the PowerPoint presentation that I attached to the announcements so that you can jot down notes as we talk. I conduct these sessions as though it's a 1 hour online class and I go over a PowerPoint presentation. Some of the material on the PowerPoint might be on the exam, some of it may not, but all of it are pieces that I think are very important for you to know as you move forward in your career. So let's go back. I haven't had an opportunity to look at any of your papers yet, and I realized that there was some confusion about when the paper was due because here it says it's due today, and that's fine. So I meant it to be on Sunday, but when I recorded it, it said it made it at, or when I set it up, it made it at 12, which technically made it today. So that's okay. I wasn't going to have an opportunity to grade them today anyway. I just got home from the clinic. So I'll get to those this week. I promise to have them all graded and returned to you by Friday, if not sooner. I try to get it done sooner. Oh, let's see. So let's look. I'm going to go into 114. It doesn't really matter because the content is the same in both sections. And then module. Now, this is my first experience with Examity. The one thing that I do know is if you have any issues with Examity, there isn't anything that I'm going to be able to do to help you. You have to go through the resources that are with the exam because this is a company that does this. I don't have anything to do with the proctoring of the test. So if you're having any issues, you're not able to get in, you're going to have to go through the steps listed and how to get guidance from the Examity people. All right, so here we go. Let's look at week 6 overview. And we have our Reflecting God website. And now we're going to be talking about the complications of pregnancy and childbirth that don't stop after the birth of the newborn. Um, I don't know. I can't recall how many of you have a background in OB, but actually, I tell my students that that first 24 hours postpartum is actually a very critical period. If a crisis event has not occurred during the labor process, and it's right on the threshold, usually within that first 24 hours, it's going to happen. And that is elevated blood pressure, postpartum hemorrhage. So you've got to, it's really a critical period. Now, we also talk about postpartum depression in this area. Now, postpartum depression it's not really well understood. However, about 5 to 25% of women who have children experience postpartum depression. Now, postpartum depression is different from the blues. The baby blues occur to a much higher percentage of women having babies, and it's due to the hormone fluctuations that occur and just the everything that's happened from giving birth. Women are maybe teary, weepy, quick to anger, but it's not severe. It doesn't impede with anything, and you might see that while they're still in the hospital. Postpartum depression doesn't really kick in until about 2 weeks after the delivery of the baby. So it's important if you're working with a midwife or doing follow up care in the office that this is something that's addressed by you in the office because you're the ones that are typically going to be the ones that identify this. Now, women who are in the hospital and have given birth, most hospitals have women fill out postpartum depression scales following the delivery, and that can kind of give them an idea of what the risk factors are. And if the risks are high enough, they will actually initiate a consult with a professional while they're still in the hospital. Some practices also redo this Edinburgh postpartum depression screening tool in the office when mom comes back in for a checkup. So it's definitely something that you should be taking a look at. So as we look forward onto the rest of the uh, contents of this, and this is uh, chapter 32 in your Schuling book, high blood pressure, postpartum depression, postpartum psychiatric disorders. Now, um, postpartum psychosis is different than postpartum depression. And postpartum psychosis is something that occurs right after the baby's born. And it's much more prevalent in women who have pre existing conditions like schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and women who suffer from postpartum psychosis are actually quite violent and can cause harm to the baby. Women experiencing postpartum depression are more likely to cause harm to themselves than they are to the baby. And we've got a video on postpartum hemorrhage, which is quite good. And then your assignment for week 6 is that midterm exam. So last week in week 5, you had the paper due, you had a discussion that you had to do. So let's just kind of focus on the exam this week. And I look forward to speaking with you all again on Thursday. And if you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate, reach out.